The COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, which seeks to protect Asian Americans, is one step closer to becoming law. The House of Representatives passed the bill yesterday, which President Biden is expected to sign.
This epidemic of anti-AAPI bigotry is a challenge to the conscience of our country, which demands bold, effective action.
I have to say that President Biden has done more for Asian Americans than I've seen in a long time. I mean, just within a week issuing the presidential memorandum to deal with disproportionate effects of COVID-19 on Asian American communities and condemning the hate crimes, as well as directing the Department of Justice to work with the AAPI communities, was a huge.
Queens Congresswoman Grace Meng joins us now. She introduced the bill in March and has been really a fighter in this front to get Asian Americans protected. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, Betty. Good to be back.
I want to ask you, first of all, the vote, 364 to 62. How do you feel about it passing?
I feel good. It was more votes than I expected for passage, and that applied in the Senate as well. And I'm really excited, hope to see President Biden sign it within a very short time.
Any indication how soon he might sign it?
We are hearing possibly this week.
Really? Okay, so it is moving very quickly. And as you probably well know, there was just another instance of Asian hate crimes yesterday in Hell's Kitchen, so there's a lot of work still ahead with this. I want to talk about the legislation because what you have done here with that legislation is clear the way for the Justice Department to review hate crimes against Asian Americans. But more importantly, it also gives local law enforcement more support. So tell us how that plays out.
Sure, thank you. And just to be clear, this bill is just one part of a long road ahead, a larger solution that needs to happen and conversations that need to take place. But this bill is important because in order to properly find solutions for this issue, we need to have a better understanding of what's going on around the country. Most law enforcement jurisdictions do not report any hate crimes to the federal government. So just like with any other public health crisis, we need to have a better sense of what's going on. This bill would provide for more data collection, but also.
Oh, we've lost audio there, Representative Meng. Hopefully we can get that back from you. I can see you speaking. I just can't hear you speaking. So we're going to try to tweak that just a little bit and get back to the Congresswoman. Hopefully we can finish this interview, but it's been very important because it not only... Hi, Congresswoman, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Oh,
I'm sorry
great.
about that.
That's no problem. We didn't want to lose you. But I wanted to speak also specifically about this because it allows for people within the Asian community more access to report these crimes.
We want the Department of Justice to work with local law enforcement to make it easier for victims to report the crimes online and in multiple languages.
Yeah, because that's been a problem in the past. You know, we've talked about how many in the Asian American community simply don't report. Part of it is the inability to have access in a language that they speak so they can do this. It's also the fear factor that comes into play here. And you mentioned the numbers. We finally got some numbers, some 6,600 reports of Asian hate crimes, 2/3 of that women. But yeah, I mean, the issue with this is what you've been trying to tackle, and that's trying to get people to report it. So we know the true numbers as to how prevalent this is.
Correct. And those numbers were collected by a local nonprofit. It should not be up to one generous nonprofit organization to collect statistics for the entire country to use. Government needs to have a better sense of what's going on.
Absolutely. Now, you actually spoke with President Biden and the Vice President at the White House. What did they tell you about their efforts to support these issues?
Well, I express gratitude for President Biden and Vice President Harris in addressing this issue as soon as they came into office, and not just with words, but with actions. Talking about actual solutions. President Biden, they had gone down to Atlanta, Georgia, for example, to meet with local leaders in the aftermath of the Atlanta tragedy. They've been working very closely with Congress to make sure that we are working on solutions, including passing this bill.
Well, you know, New York City Commission on Human Rights recently launched a campaign to combat the rise in Asian hate crimes all across Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. Has there been any indication that the increased awareness has truly had an impact?
It does. And this, like I said, is going to be a long road ahead. This problem will not be solved overnight. We went through over a year of incendiary language being used, words like Kung flu and Chinese virus. And that's why these incidents have been increasing at such an exponential rate. And so it's going to take some time. But we're working on solutions. For example, this legislation, we need to focus and invest more robustly in mental health programs, both for perpetrators and for victims.
Absolutely. You know, speaking of awareness, we are both taking part in a forum tomorrow with other Asian American community leaders and stakeholders to really address the rise in attacks. So I look forward to speaking with you on that. And I know those within the Asian community are very thankful that this bill has been passed. So we appreciate you joining us today, Congresswoman.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and it's on your screen, or at least it was, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation with Representative Meng and myself. Join us tomorrow at noon at the Stop AAPI Hate Forum. We will have all of the details on pix11.com, and I do want to give a big shout out to Elmhurst Hospital for organizing this and making it a really important part of the conversation.